Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Thomas. I'm a financial coach and I'm here to help you simplify your finances, save money, and get out of debt. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about things you need to do to take control of your finances and your money. The very first thing that you want to do is to get on a budget. Listen, this is a financial coaching channel, so you're gonna hear me talk about budgeting all the time because budgeting is a foundation for you to build on and really create a wonderful life debt-free. Now, if you do not know how to do a budget, make sure you download my free budgeting guide. I call it the Budget Pad. It's a tool that I use with my financial coaching clients to help them organize their income, their expenses, and to really put some order to their finances. Make sure you click on the link in the description box. That's gonna take you to my website where you can follow a step-by-step tutorial and also download my free guide. I hope you really use that. Why is it so important to live on a budget? Because if you don't know how much money exactly you're making and how much money you're spending, you are going to end up overspending every single month. You need to get into the habit of planning your financial life. If you feel like you're in a cycle of having more money going out than coming in, if you live in a constant state of financial anxiety, that is because you don't have good information about your expenses and your income, and you will never have that if you don't do a budget. So make sure you're doing your budget. It doesn't have to be complicated. All it is a list of all the money that you make and all the money that you spend. However, when you just make a list of what you already spent, that's of no use. We need to be able to plan ahead of time. That's why we do a budget, and we do an estimation of the money we're gonna make next month and the money we're gonna spend next month. And once we have that estimation, it's better to cut down expenses to be able to stay within our limits. So the first thing you wanna do if you wanna really win with money is get on a budget. The second thing you must do to really win with money is understand your actual income. What do I mean by that? There's people, and let's use this number as an example. Say that you make $50,000 a year, okay? So if we split it by 12 months, that's roughly over $4,100. And for the sake of easy math, let's just say $4,000. All right, so let's say that you have, or you think you have, a $4,000 monthly income because you make $50,000 a year or $48,000 a year, okay? But if you live a life based on $4,000, I have bad news for you. You're gonna run out of money. Why? Because in reality, your take-home pay is not $4,000. It's $4,000 less taxes and other deductions. So what you actually get might be about $3,200. That's a huge difference. That's $800 difference. So understanding what you actually make is huge to be able to win with money and to get your finances under control. Now, we're just talking about taxes and other deductions. Say that you are also putting money away for retirement and you're putting away 10%. Well, now we don't have $3,200 to spend. We have more like $2,800, $2,900 to spend. So instead of living off $4,000, we are now living on less than $3,000. That's why it's so important to understand how much money are you really taking home from your salary so that you don't end up overspending. The third thing you need to do to get control of your finances is to understand your outgo, your expenses. I know a lot of people, and I've coached a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I know how much money I spend every single month. And I'm like, oh, okay, how much? Well, it's about $2,500, and they just throw numbers, estimations of what they think they're spending every single month. When we actually sit down in a financial coaching session and go through their expenses, they have no idea they are spending over $700 a month going out to eat. $30 here, $40 there, $100 there, and they don't see the whole picture. So when we actually sit down and break down the expenses and do the math, they are pretty shocked. So if you really want to get control of your money, you really need to sit down and do the math. Understand what exactly you are spending. This is a question that you should be able to answer. What is your monthly cost of living? Do you know that? Do you know exactly how much money it takes you, if you're single, or your household to operate on a single month? If you don't have the answer, you need to go back to step number 1 and do your budget, because that is the number you really need to know. Once you understand how much money it takes for you and your family to live, then you can really make traction. Because if you know that on the example that we were using, you only have $2,900 after taxes and deductions, etc., then you need to make sure your expenses are not going over $2,900. And if you want to save money, then you need to really make sure your expenses are way below $2,900 in this example to be able to save money. So make sure you understand how much it really costs you and your family to live on a monthly basis. The fourth thing you must do to be able to control your finances is evaluate your spending habits. Like I said before, if you're going out to eat to restaurants all the time, and I keep mentioning that example because that's one of the categories in everyone's budget that usually is just way too high. We are used to going out to eat a lot. I understand, we work hard, the kids have activities, we come and go, and then at the end of the day, if you didn't plan ahead a meal, you're like, I'm just super tired. What do you guys want? I've done it, you guys have done it, everyone does this thing, but if we know that going out to eat, it's really breaking our budget, we need to stop it. So that's just one example. You need to go over your expenses and really see, where is all my money going? There are people that have very expensive car payments and say they are on a tight budget, but still they have a high car payment. And on top of that, there's gas and there's insurance. So they end up spending a really big chunk of their income just paying for this car. And those are the things that you really need to look into to be able to think, well, do I really need to be driving this car? Do I really need to be going out to eat? Do I really need to be a member of this place or that place, or have all these different expenses that come out of my paycheck every single month? Is that really a necessity? And if it's not, I invite you to start making some cuts in those areas, because the more expenses you can reduce, the more money you're gonna have left to make it grow. And the fifth thing that you must do to be able to get control of your money is making budgeting a habit. I know I talk a lot about budgets, but like I said, that's what I do as a financial coach. However, if you make it a habit, every single month, things are gonna flow just better. How do you do a budget? The way that I recommend you to do is you do a budget per month. I know there's people that make they get paid on a monthly basis or weekly or bi-weekly or twice a month. I understand that some of you guys want to budget the paycheck. You know, if you get paid every 2 weeks, then you guys want to budget every 2 weeks. But I do not recommend you do that. I recommend that you do a monthly budget and that you consider the expenses and the income you're gonna have that particular month. Why do we do this? Because when you are living paycheck to paycheck and budgeting paycheck to paycheck, that's what your life looks like. Paycheck to paycheck. You're just looking down the expenses that you have to cover on that particular time, but you're not looking ahead to the expenses that are coming your way. For instance, Christmas. If you are just living paycheck to paycheck and budgeting paycheck to paycheck, you are not thinking about putting money away for Christmas that's coming up in the next couple of months. Same thing with school supplies. Same with college tuition, you know? That's why you really need to know how much it costs you to live, and it's going to be different every single month of the year. That's why you need a unique budget for every single month of the year. Now, remember, if you're being paid on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, there will be several times during the year where your monthly income is going to be higher than other months because you're going to have an extra check. And that's the beauty of budgeting on a monthly basis, that you can decide what to do with this extra money. Do I put it aside for Christmas? Do I put it aside for savings? Or am I gonna need to cover certain expenses next month, like summertime? Summertime for families with little kids gets really expensive to cover for daycare. What you can do when you have a good month with an extra paycheck, you can put that extra paycheck aside and cover for those months where you have higher expenses. So let's go over the list of the 5 things you must do to start taking control of your finances. Number 1, you need to embrace living on a budget. Number 2, understand your actual income. Number 3, understand your actual expenses. Number 4, evaluate your spending versus your income. And number 5, make budgeting a habit. I promise to you guys, if you follow these steps, these recommendations, you're gonna see huge traction in your finances. I want you to stop living paycheck to paycheck, to stop living in this financial anxiety cycle and start enjoying life by having control of your money. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check the description box on this video because I always provide a written article about the same topic of all my videos. So if you want to go back and listen to this video again, go ahead. But if you want to take some notes and if you want to read over this information, make sure you go and check my blog where I have a written article on the same topic. And also, if you are on Facebook and want to be around people who believe that living debt-free is a better way of life, make sure you ask to join my Facebook group. The link is in the description box. I would be more than happy to let you in and be a part of a community that really wants to support each other in our journey to 100% debt-free. And if you're having some doubts to whether you can actually become debt-free, stay tuned because on my next video, I am going to share with you a success story from one of my financial coaching clients. I usually share stories from my clients or students because it's important that you understand that it is possible. This can be done. It's not easy, but you can do it too. So stay tuned for more motivation and success stories on how to become debt-free.